today I have a really exciting video, and before we start the video I want to have a little bit of a game. This video is about how many prams I have owned in my lifetime. That means a full-size real baby pram. I have owned them or in my possession. So comment below how many prams that you think that I have owned in my entire lifetime up to this video, this day, right now. Alrighty, so my first pram that I ever owned. This is my pram from when I was born. Now these photos are not my photos. This is not my exact pram that I owned, and it's not the right color, but this is the only photos of this pram that I've ever been able to find. It was like the navy blue, all of that is the same. Under the hood it had like white little stars, and that was pretty cool. Like they were just kind of indented in the top, and then on the seat where the baby sits it was like dark blue, and it had like little teddy bears, and some of the teddy bears had like a little red outfit or a green outfit or a yellow outfit. I can't remember, maybe there was blue as well. I think it was, yeah, just those 4 colors, but I think that was it. But that was the first pram I ever owned, and you're like, but you didn't really own that. But I did, because it was my pram, my stroller that I was pushed around in as a baby. But then when I got older, when I would go to my nan's house, my nan could just use that to push me around. But then after that, it stayed there and it became my toy play pram. So every time I went there, I'd be like, can I have my pram out, please? So I got my pram out and I took my miracle baby doll down there and I had my pram to play with. And then after I nagged my parents, I finally was allowed to bring it home. So I owned it for a while, and honestly, it was pretty broken because I used to sit in it at the age of like 10. Wasn't in good condition. So we ended up actually throwing it out just because it had done its miles. Oh, let me also just show you a little bit of information about what's on the screen visually. So we have an age, like a year, so 1997. That was when I first got the pram because that's when I was born. I don't know the year that I was allowed to bring it home or the years that I played with it as a child, but we can say like mid 2000s. And then we have a counter on the screen, and that is the number of pram that we're up to. So this one is number 1 because I ended up owning it towards the end. Okay, so we moved to 2010, and that is where I owned this beautiful blue Mother's Choice jogging pram, 3-wheel pram, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the name of this pram, and that is really strange. You're like, how can you not know? I was so young and I never could find much information about it. I think it was just like a cheaper pram. It was a Mother's Choice, and as you can see the photos, it was for my dog. So he is loved, I swear. He was so loved. He lived a great life, a lot of it in a pram, but he would mostly, see the first photo how he's like curled up, mostly he would sit in the pram like that. Every now and then I was really mean and I would strap him in, but I just wanted a little baby to play with like that so badly. So he was like my little baby dog. Okay, moved to 2011, a peg perego Venezia. I have no idea if I said that correctly. Now this pram here, oh, one thing I also wanted to say, I've tried to provide a photo that I have personally taken while I've owned the pram. And as you'll see later on in the video clip, I get a lot better at taking photos, but really early along, I wasn't really great at taking photos. So I do apologize about that. So on the left is a photo of my very first pram liner. My very first pram liner, I, believe it or not, measured off the peg perego. So I had the jogging pram, like the 3-wheel pram. I believe my mum got that from an op shop. And I do not, for the life of me, remember where this peg perego came from, but all I can remember is I desperately wanted a reversible handled pram so that I could turn it around and see the baby, and then turn it around, the baby could forward face, and that was all I wanted. So I have a feeling that we might have bought this off eBay for like $10 or something, you know, really cheap like that. And then I remember we donated the blue one back to an op shop, so back to like a charity shop. Oh my gosh, 2012. So my auntie used to work at a baby shop, a baby store where they sold baby items, prams, cots, the whole works. And they shut down, they completely closed down. So she like rocked up to her house one day and was like, here's some car seats, here's a pram, like here's some stuff, do you want it? Mum's like, oh yeah, like I'm sure I can find some friends that are having babies and whatnot. Anyways, the discussion of the pram ended up at me, and they allowed me to keep this pram. It was brand new, like brand new, floor stock, and I got to keep it. But I started wrapping the frames on my prams, as you'll see in the next few slides. But this pram has been in quite a few of my videos, and like this pram went to Sydney for an outing. It went to the shops with me and my friends, and we were just mucking around, as you can see in the photos. Okay, Pram 5 and Pram 6 are weird kind of prams, but they were in my possession and then I gave them away. So the Childcare Discovery, I believe that's the name of it, I'm not 100% sure. And then number 6 is a baby club stroller. I have no idea the name of that either. That was found on the side of the road, and I like cleaned it all up and gave it to my school as well. My goodness. Pram 7 is a Bugaboo Frog. Now this was my first ever Bugaboo. If you know me, you know that I like my Bugaboos. Most of them. Bugaboo Frog, I remember seeing this. I was making a lot of pram liners at the time, and I was usually just using my Bootiq pram to put them in and take photos of them, but that wasn't a normal pram, if that makes sense. Whereas this Bugaboo Frog was a little bit more of a normal pram, so I was hoping to be able to use that to like mold the pram liners too, and like, you know, make a pattern off it. And that's what I did. Plus you can see in one of the photos, this was when I had my first ever reborn, and I was kind of just dabbling in the reborn world. All right, 2015 pram number 8. This is a Strider Plus, but it's a 3-wheel Strider Plus. For those that don't know, there was a 3-wheel and a 4-wheel. We will talk about the 4-wheel later. So I got this pram, again, I purchased it, it was pretty cheap. It was like a cool pram. Everyone had a Strider Plus, and I was like, again, I need to be up and hip with the world, and I was selling so many pram liners for Strider prams that I had to purchase a Strider pram to put my pram liners in to show what they could look like. So as you can see on the screen, a lot of this pram was just used for my pram liners and to take photos with. So I said I'd talk about the Strider Plus 4-wheel, and here we are talking about it. This is now the 4-wheel one, and I'm like, and I'm sure you're like, but that's the same pram, is it not? No, this is the 4-wheel version. It is the exact same pram, except it has 4 wheels, not 3. They both were in black. I bought this pram, believe it or not, without a wheel on the front. So there was only 3 wheels on it. And I was working at a baby shop at the time, and I was able to get a spare wheel from like a big box of just old products, because these were like an old pram now. We would use these as loans, and normally we probably would have just given the Strider Compact as a loan instead. These were still in our shop and available, and we just kind of started getting rid of them. So I asked, could I have one of the wheels that was just floating up there for the past 3 years? And they were like, yeah, no worries. So I got the wheel and I completed my Strider Plus that had 4 wheels. Throughout the video, there's a few line-up photos where part of my hobbies include lining my prams up and taking photos. So you'll be pleased to know that the photos get better in the video the longer the video goes on. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit ashamed of this one. This is a Steelcraft Orbit. In 2015, I had this brilliant idea. We're going back to the vinyl wrappy, frame wrappy thing. There was this tape at Spotlight and it was in all different colors, like camo print, I think there was like a leopard print, the splattered paint that you saw before. There was just all different colors, and a few people started like wrapping their pram frames in them, and I was like, that's so cool, I'm gonna do that too. And I was like, wait, I can buy prams, make a pram liner for them, wrap their frame, and then I can sell them for a profit. Anyway, so I bought this Steelcraft Orbit from a secondhand shop. And you'll see the photo on the left is mine. That's a pram liner that I made for it. Don't ask me why I made a camo pram liner for a grayish colored pram and then tried to wrap the frame in camo. I don't know, but I did end up selling it and getting rid of it, don't worry. Here's another one of those cute little photos where I have, on the left is the Strider Plus, the middle is the Steelcraft Orbit, and the right is the Bugaboo Frog. Alrighty, this is when the real pram started. 2017. Notice there's a bit of a gap. I started maybe having a little bit more money that I could play with and spend on my prams. And this pram, buying it, I used to carry it around in my car and I would wrap it in blankets. As you'll see further down, when I really liked prams, I would wrap a blanket in my boot so that they wouldn't get scratched in transportation. My Bugaboo Chameleon was an absolute lovable pram and I had it for so many years. So I also like custom made hoods for it. But this is 2017. I bought a Steelcraft Agile all black, and it was Halloween that year and I turned it into the Batmobile. I dressed as Catwoman and I was like pretending that I was Catwoman and I had captured Batman and his Batmobile. But in all honesty, I love this pram still. I love the Steelcraft Agile. It's such a lightweight, small pram that folds up so easily and so small, and it's not big to get out or anything like that. I miss this pram a lot, and I would like to get like a newer version of it that is more like, I like the deluxe now. It has like the leatherette handlebars. Alrighty, like I said, 2017, I was excited. I was into the reborn world. I was into the real care world. And I was just starting to make YouTube videos, and actually I'd been making them for a while, but I'd just gotten like my first nursery set up and I was just absolutely ecstatic. As you can see, I have 2 capsules. I have the little Maxicosi and I have the Steelcraft infant capsule, or infant carrier. And so I had my Agile and my Bugaboo Chameleon lined up next to each other and I was just so happy. And at this point in my life, I needed to own a double pram. So 2017, I decided that because I have 2 reborns, a boy and a girl, and I kind of wanted them as like twins. Then I had my 2 real cares, a boy and a girl, kind of wanted them twins. So I decided I needed a double pram, which is how I ended up with the Valco Snap Ultra Duo. This pram I thought was amazing until I owned it. In theory, it was great. It had 2 seats that could face you or face forward, or one could face you and one could face forward. You could have a capsule, a bassinet, all of this cool stuff. But the seats were so small. They were great for reborns, but not for real babies. And you couldn't fit through a standard doorway with this pram, which I find absolutely annoying. I had to like pull it apart to put it through my door in my house. I did, however, do a video where I took it for an outing to the park with 2 Real Care twin babies that were on for the day, if you want to watch that video. Strata compacts were the thing that was necessary to own for anyone that lived in New South Wales. In Australia, you had to buy a Strata compact. And I wanted to get aboard of this. I was like, it's such a cool pram, like good, like they don't tip over. There's such, like you can load them up with stuff. There's such a good workhorse and such a good value for money pram that you can't go wrong with a Strata. So I bought 2, of course. So we get count 14 and 15. The bottom 2 photos you can see where I had the 2 Stratas. One was a double, one was a single. On the left it is the 2 capsules on the 2 Stratas, but on the right is the 2 Strata compact prams that I had owned. I sold the black one and I kept the grey one. 2018, I decided that I needed something cool and exciting, and I got a Stokke Xplory V3. Now, this pram I thought was absolutely cool, and it was for a little while, except there is no storage at all on this pram. If I am looking this way, that is because my computer screen is there with my PowerPoint and it's not in front of me like it is for you, so that's why I'm looking that way. I thought this pram was really cool and snazzy. It got lots of compliments when out and about, but it just wasn't that practical. Maybe like with the bassinet it would have been cooler, but I like to use the seats so I can put my pram liners in them. But I mean, it was okay. It was different and it was cool. Not happy about this one. Steelcraft Acclaim. Don't get me wrong, they are a pretty standard pram that a lot of people buy because of their functionality. They are a forward-facing pram, they are a rear-facing pram. All 4 wheels can swivel. You can lock the back 2 and steer with the front ones, or you can lock the front ones and steer with the back ones and swap the handle left and right and up and down and whatever. The hood isn't great. They do lie flat. That is a bonus for these kinds of prams. The basket storage does not exist. It has a pretend basket. And for some reason they made this so you can put a capsule in it, and I don't know why, because the pram faces both ways anyways. But anyways, I owned one of those. The Valco Snap 3. I love the Valco Snap 3. It is an awesome pram. You would not believe that I got this pram for free with something else that I bought. I bought a lot of car seats for someone else. I was trying to help them out. They needed some car seats, so I went and picked them up, and it had this pram thrown in with it, and I was like, no way, that's awesome. So I had a lot of fun and I did this pram up. I sprayed all of the frame black and cleaned it all up. This is my first big pram collection photo. I mean, there is 5 prams there, and that to me is quite a few prams to own at one time. So on the left we have the Steelcraft Acclaim, then we have the Stokke, we have the Bugaboo Chameleon, the Steelcraft Strata, and on the right there with Tigger we have the Snap 3. Another really fun pram that I got was this Bugaboo Chameleon 1. Now I also found this on the side of the road and washed all of the fabrics. I actually replaced the seat fabric with a fabric that I had. I made little handlebar covers and belly bar covers, and it was the first time I ever did that. I learned not to use Velcro. I washed all the fabric up. I did buy this a new basket because the basket that was on it was so moldy, and same with the seat fabric. But I did salvage that hood, and I just think it looked so good with that, you know, all black with the orange hood on it. I also didn't film that because I didn't think that that was I don't know, I wasn't thinking videos at that time. I was like, oh, a pram that I can do up, cool. And I regret that I didn't film that and show you how it looked before and after. So at this time I own my Chameleon 3, From now on, I might call it my Cam 3, and then I have my Cam 1, and I just, again, liked to line them up and take photos. Yep, here's another really awful photo of my prams with my pram liners in them, because I was just showing that off and I love to take photos. And I've never used these photos anywhere, so here they are, and I hope that you are enjoying these beautiful photos of my prams and my pram liners. To celebrate my 20th pram, I bought a Mima. That is not true. I didn't know that this was my 20th pram. I was just buying away. This is my Mima Kobi, the double Mima pram, which I had for a very long time as well. It is like the white leatherette, and it was just a cool pram. Anywhere you took it, you got looks. Every male in the world liked this pram, I swear, and I don't know why. And it was just fun to have, because it was just something pretty extreme and pretty out there, and especially in the white color, that was like, not that it was rare, but just a lot of people would have not chosen the white for a baby, even though it wiped down with baby wipes very easily. So 2018 was a pretty fun year. I bought my Mima, and then I decided, from going to spacey and new and modern, I wanted to go old school. So I searched high and low and found this really cool old school pram that has like the big wheels and the big hood. It is cream and has like it's like a black, I would say it's a black hood. It's not like a navy blue, I'd say it's black, yeah. And it's just beautiful. I love this pram. I still own it to this day. It is like an ornament because I'm too scared to touch it. When I transport it, I have to put it into 2 sections and put it in my car, and it kind of makes me nervous that it's going, like, being moved as we travel. The car moves around it and it's moving and it's rubbing on things, and I just feel like it's just not worth it transporting it that often. How was I gonna top the Mima and the Fethalite? A folding pram, of course. So this is the 4 Mums Oragami pram that folds itself up. I definitely have videos on this pram. I know I took it on an outing with a Real Care video, because I remember that I took my baby out of it in the middle of the shopping centre and put the bassinet on the ground, and then proceeded to press the fold up button just to show everyone around us that it folded up, because I thought it was so cool. So there's that. And you can see I had a little bit of a hungry caterpillar obsession throughout these years. That is just me flaunting that all of the prams don't fit in my room anymore. 2018 was such an exciting year. I have always loved the Valco Snap Ultras. Like I said before, I bought the Ultra Snap Duo. I had the Snap 3, but I always really wanted the Snap Ultra. This pram is brilliant. It was the lightest pram that folded up facing both ways. It had a huge hood. It laid practically flat, and the basket was a decent size. Like, what else do you want? And it was lightweight. Like, this was such an amazing pram, and I held on to it for a long time because of that. So I started searching, I can't even say this correctly, please don't hate me. Is it an Emmaljunga? An Emmaljunga? Anyways, that's what I think it's called. It was a white cream leatherette pram that had the bassinet, and it also had the seat, but it doesn't matter because the seat lied completely flat. I don't know why they made a bassinet other than for looks, but the seat would lie completely flat, sit up. It was like a big old comfy armchair for your baby. If you had an Emmaljunga, you loved your baby, I swear. The fold was terrible because it's stuck in that old school kind of technology, and it would actually create a dent in the wheel from the handlebar when it folded. So I don't know how to prevent that, but I know I 1000% have a pram review on this, and I think I also have how to wash this as well. So I think this, from now on, I've started washing my prams. Yep, so this is my photo of all of my whitey creamy prams. I had the Mima, the Emmaljunga and my Bugaboo chameleon. 2019 is where my life changed and I purchased a Bugaboo buffalo. For years I loved my chameleon and a friend was like, buy a buffalo, and I was like, no, I like my chameleon. It's perfect the way it is. And she's like, buy a buffalo, they're awesome, I swear. Anyways, I bought a buffalo. I bought a buffalo, and as soon as I bought the buffalo, I was like, I've got to try it out. I've got to see where it is, and I'll decide if I like my chameleon or the buffalo more, and then I'll just probably sell one and swap it out. So, as you may know, the chameleon disappeared and the buffalo stayed. The chameleon is such a similar pram to the buffalo, except the buffalo has bigger wheels and is easier to push. The handlebar goes in a lot shorter, so the fold is actually smaller even though it has larger wheels. The frame is smaller when it compacts and folds down. And to recline the seat, it does not take two hands either side. That is a pet hate of the chameleon. On the buffalo at the back, there's like a seat, like a handle that reclines it. Instead of on the chameleon, there's two buttons either side that you have to press and rotate the whole seat. The truth to as why I bought a buffalo is in this slide. Tyler, if you don't know Tyler, he is a little baby that I would look after, and he has been on my channel a few times. When he was in my chameleon, I was like, he is running out of space. So I knew that the buffalo seat was bigger, so I bought the buffalo, and that was actually Tyler's buffalo for the rest of the time that he was in a pram. I thought I'd chuck capsules in just because, you know, they're things that go on pram. Okay, so just after I bought the two black, didn't want two black ones anymore, I wanted a pink one and a black one. So this Babyjogger City Versa came up and it was perfect. It was the pram that I've been looking for and always liked, and it had a pink capsule with it. So it was a win-win situation. We bought that and added that to my collection, and that stayed in my collection for a really, really long time. I loved my Versa. I still love the Versa. Alright, Bugaboo Donkey. Now I'm sure you're really confused because there's 4 numbers on the screen. That is not a typo. I have owned 4 Bugaboo Donkeys in my lifetime. The story. The first one I bought because I wanted a Bugaboo Donkey. So that is that exact one there with the pink hood and the black hood. That was my first ever donkey that I bought. But then you go through all of my photos, and just because it has a different pram liner, it doesn't make it a new pram. I bought a second donkey because I had the Versa and I wanted a set of donkey hood rods and clamps because the hood rods and clamps would go onto the Versa or the Babyjogger, the Select or the Versa. So what I wanted was an extra set of hood rods because I was always taking a hood off and putting it from the donkey onto the Versa, and then it left my donkey without a hood, and I really hated that. So I was searching all over looking for a set of hood rods and clamps, and I found a set. This lady was selling a set and she would not part it from the whole pram. So I was like, whatever, I would just buy the whole pram. So I literally just went, bought the whole pram. I took whatever I wanted off the pram and then I sold it again. So if it had like certain hoods and stuff that I didn't want, I traded some of the hoods that I had that I didn't want, took the hoods that I wanted, swapped everything around, and I was good to go. So that pram got sold. The next time that I bought a Bugaboo Donkey was to upgrade the handlebar and the frame. So I had just a standard donkey with like the foam handle, and I didn't like that one anymore. I wanted the leatherette handle. I did create a zip-up handle cover, but it wasn't the same as having the proper leatherette-y kind of handle. So I bought another donkey for the frame and the accessories. I swapped all of the parts that I wanted onto the new donkey and anything that I didn't want onto the old donkey, and I sold that one. And anything that I didn't want off my Bugaboo Donkey, I sold with this Bugaboo Donkey. Now, when I bought this one, it actually did not come with a basket. It was just the double donkey, and then I sold it as a single. So I sold my basket with the single donkey and off it went. That left me with a double donkey with no basket, so I went on the search finding a basket for my donkey. So I purchased the Bugaboo Donkey 3 basket online, which I now currently have for my Bugaboo Donkey. 2020 was an even more exciting year. I found a Baby Bee Rover on the side of the road. I have a video about me finding it. I didn't get the video of me picking it up off the side of the road, but I have as soon as I got home, and you can see it was raining, it was in the rain, I just found it. But I cleaned it up and it came up beautifully, and I loved this pram. I forgot to mention we are in the 30s now, so we're at 32. Looking at the Babyjogger GT City Mini. This pram was bought halfly because I always liked them, but not really. I always liked the idea of the foam-filled wheels and how they pushed, but I always kind of liked the Agile a little bit better, because to me these prams are literally the same prams, and the Agile has the 4 wheels, you can put the capsule in really easily, and I just feel like the Agile looks a little bit better when you add the capsule and everything, and you can have the hood on, you don't have to take it off. I have a review on it, I have how to wash it. The Bugaboo B3. This pram, I'm just gonna say it, I hated it. I still hate it. I don't like it. It does not fold up the right way when it's facing you. It's so hard. You have to have this tiny little foot to get in there and make it work, and I just found it really stressful to do. So I just didn't like it. It is what it is. I said it, it's out there. So I have the Versa, then I have my Buffalo, I have the Bee, and then I have my Donkey. Okay, and if I wasn't bragging before, this is my collection of all of the prams that I owned at that time. Believe it or not, I found these 2 prams on the side of the road, 3 driveways down from my house. So I filmed picking them up. So that's 34 and 35, the Emmaljunga Nitro, and then the one on the right is the Steelcraft Cruiser with the Maxicosi Zellia. Alright, I want to know what this pram is about, so I got it. And then a few days after I got it, I then got the Steelcraft Savvi. They're basically the same pram with different branding, and that confuses the heck out of me. Basically, the Maxicosi Zellia is a slightly shorter version of the Savvi. The handlebar is telescopic. The seat is slightly smaller. You can get it in different colors. When the pram folds down, I think this one folds forwards. Oh, the seat turns into a bassinet by 2 clips underneath, I think, maybe 3. But yeah, I do have a video on that if you wanted to know more about it. Which brings us back around to the Steelcraft Savvi, same pram, slightly taller seat, handlebar moves up and down with a pivotable handlebar instead of the telescopic handlebar. Comes in different colors. The footrest is adjustable, unlike the Zellia. They were the exact same frame, one folded forwards, one folded backwards. I don't know. 2020 was a good year. I bought a Silvercross Pioneer pram and thought it was awesome. The fabric in the bassinet is so amazing and so soft, and the cushioning, the little pillow or mattress that is in there is really soft, plus the walls. I loved that about it. The hood wasn't the biggest hood in the entire world, but it did have that little panel that popped out and would extend the canopy, and it only had one hood for the bassinet and the seat, which is kind of weird as well. But overall, it was a decent pram. It had a decent fold and a huge basket. It was a bit stiff to push. It was it needed 2 hands to kind of push. It's a bit heavy on the steering. That's just me flexing all of my prams and how they now have to go across the wardrobe instead of just on the wall. Number 39, 2020. This is my Nuna Mixx 2. I love this pram so much. I do not own this pram anymore for one reason, but I kind of miss it a little bit. A little bit. No, I do. Look how pretty those photos are. It's just a nice pram all round. It looks good with the capsule on, it looks good with the seat on forwards, it looks good on with the seat on backwards. It just looks good. They just designed a pram well. It pushed great. The handlebar was awesome, went up and down. It had really nice padded fabric in the seat itself. It had a huge hood that covered all the way over. It just, I just really like the Nuna Mixx too so much. So in this photo we have the Maxicosi Zellia, then the Savvi, the Versa, and the Nuna Mixx 2 all lined up. Number 40 is my Baby Jogger City Select. So this is originally a double pram, but I of course turned it into a triple pram. I have videos on all how to do that. However, I didn't like the frame of the original City Select that I purchased. It just was a bit, it wasn't the best fold and it sometimes got a bit stuck. So I actually bought a second one, which was the teal blue color. And that is in this slide now. So I did a few videos like pram reviews and stuff like that with the blue one, and then I've of course turned the other one into my triple pram. Also, don't mind the screenshot of me here. I could not find any other photos of this pram, so this is what we got. How do you beat a triple pram? Well, you don't, other than buying the Cybex Wings by Jeremy Scott. So this pram is a beloved pram of mine. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner, that is the pram in the boot of my car with a blanket around it because I did in fact wrap it up to take home. The photo in the top middle is me with the pram on the bed for the night because everyone was joking saying, oh, you're gonna sleep with it tonight. And the photo just below that is where the pram actually stayed for the night. Next pram, number 42, is the Cassetto stroller. I'm sorry if I butchered that word, I'm not sure how to say it, but this is the Pixelate color and it is so cool. I really love the color of this stroller, but just a stroller isn't quite the right pram for me. It just doesn't have any storage and it's a little bit more awkward to use, and I feel like it just didn't push as well as what a pram can. Number 44, the Baby Jogger City Mini Zip, is a pretty cool pram. It's basically a full-size pram that can compact into a travel pram, and I really did like this pram. The only reason I really sold it is I guess we were mid and we couldn't really do anything anymore. So I was like, what's really the point of having this pram? Because I kind of bought it to travel with, but we couldn't travel. We haven't been able to travel. We are just getting out and are able to go places again. The Bugaboo Fox is a pretty pram, but I just don't understand why Bugaboo made something so simple and everyone loved it. And then they were like, oh, everyone loves this simple design. Let's make it complicated because everyone will like that so much more. The fold is more complicated. Putting the seat on, so changing it from the bassinet to the seat, like there's now a hard plastic piece that goes in the back instead of just a seat fabric that slides on. I don't know what was wrong with the seat fabric. Every other pram company does the same thing with the seat fabric, but obviously there's a reason why they've done it. I don't know what the reason is, but I don't like that they've taken something simple and changed it to something complicated. Oh my goodness, number 46, the Nuna Demi Grow. The Nuna Demi Grow is a favorite pram of mine. I absolutely love it. The seat sits nice and high, plus you have the little extender pieces if you want to keep it high or if you want to just put it a little bit lower. The hood is huge and has a dream drape. The bassinet has a dream drape. Like, it's just an awesome pram. The colors are awesome. The fold, oh my gosh, is amazing. I just really love this pram. This was the reason why I sold my Nuna Mixx 2. It was to upgrade from the Nuna Mixx 2 to the Nuna Demi Grow, basically because it was the newer version and it sat a little bit higher than the Nuna Mixx 2. As you can see in these photos, the Nuna Mixx sits a bit lower, the Nuna Demi sits higher, plus it has the option to have the second seat, so that was kind of why I liked it more. Oh dear, the Jules Day. You'll know that I didn't entirely love a pram when there's not many photos of it. Now that we're a little bit further along in the slideshow. This just wasn't the pram for me. It had like a clicky hood. The functionality was a little bit old school. Yes, it was an older model, but I just have seen the new ones and they seem like they're built similar, or they have the similar features, which I just didn't like. So I'm not gonna go buying a Jules anytime soon, but I may in the future. We're at number 48, and this is where it gets a little bit confusing. I may or may have not missed a pram, so we're gonna add it in here. I'm talking back to the first few prams that I owned. We had a Vista. I had a navy blue Vista, which if you watched any of the videos in my Vista that I just did, I spoke about having one before with the rumble seat. So it was actually navy blue and had the rumble seat on it instead of the bassinet, and that's why I knew like a little bit of a different opinion on the pram, because I had owned it with the two seats instead of the seat and the bassinet, and there were a lot more combinations. So that is 48, and then 49 is this Aqua Vista that we have here in these photos, which of course I do have the review and all the videos and stuff on. It is a lovely pram, but over this one and the Demi-Go, I prefer the Demi-Go. There's a video about why I prefer the Demi-Go, but I just do prefer it over the Vista. Here's a cute little lineup from left to right. My City Mini Zip, my Vista, and my Donkey. Okay, this brings us to pram 50. This is the Britax Flex in double, so I owned this a little while ago. I liked the colors and I liked the idea, but owning it, it just wasn't practical to change it from single to double. I just didn't really like it at the end of the day and preferred my other prams, so I sold it on. The next thing I bought was a Nuna Pippa car seat. I have had Maxicosi's almost the whole way through, and just because there's such an easy capsule to go on all the prams except Steelcraft. But anyways, so the Nuna Pippa has the same attachment as Maxicosi, so they fit onto all prams as well. And so I just thought that I would try out a Nuna Pippa, which I did. I liked the design of the Nuna Pippa with the dream drape and whatnot, so I decided to go ahead and buy a Bugaboo Turtle by Nuna capsule. So this is actually the last thing that I have purchased. I know you're confused because you're like, what do you mean this is supposed to be a pram video? But prams and capsules kind of go hand in hand. So this concludes my video for how many prams I have owned, and I am so proud to say this. I don't know if I should be proud or not. I have owned 50 prams in my lifetime, from when I started at a young age collecting right way through until now. So it is November 2021 and my count on prams is 50. So don't forget to let me know which your favorite pram is. I would love to see all of your favorite prams in the comments. I will let you know there is a video for my current pram collection that I just posted a little while ago, and you can see which prams I currently have out of all of these prams still. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment below which your favorite pram was, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!